How's everyone going? I've got a bit of a different video this time round. In this selection of boxes, doesn't look like much, but I'll come on to it in a second. So this was on sale from a actual train model shop on a certain website, and I picked this up for 15 quid. Yeah, 15 quid. And I know you're thinking, wow, for the body that's quite a lot. Well, actually, it came with everything. On the advert, it was a non-runner, and there's a reason why it's a non-runner. It's quite a simple one, so I thought I'd try to save people some money if they ever wanted to. They want to pick something up, but look out for these sort of things, because this is hilarious. So this is it does need a little bit of work doing to it. As you can see, I've already taken it apart, but this loco is or was fitted DCC. Now, whether it's aftermarket or not, I guess it must be, because in the instructions there's no indication of the same this little sort of part here isn't even on here, so maybe it's a DCC model or whatever, I don't know, but the instructions don't seem to refer to it. There's this little stand, basically this little stand goes in here. Sorry for, I'm not actually doing this, I haven't got like anything to hold the phone with, so it's just me doing my usual trying to work with one hand. So that basically usually sits over there. Now I'll probably use that as a basis actually for, I think if it goes in properly, yeah, I'll probably use that as a base. It goes in that way, doesn't it? Yeah, so that would sit in there, and I'll probably put a little platform on top or something to house the driver. But you can also see that this is actually, I think it must be a special DCC version, because this is obviously got different shape on the body. But anyway, one to look out for, and I'll put the model number so other people might want to have a look and see if they can pick up similar thing. But apart from a bit of a clean of the cogs and things, I took it apart, and there's no power coming to it even once I've put in the I had one of these plates free, so the DCC or the DC plate, so I put that in, but actually as I was kind of doing this, I was thinking, well, it makes, when it's in here, you can see all of the wiring through this part, so it really doesn't make the model look very good. So I'm just going to ditch the DCC altogether, I think. But I thought I'd just show. So basically, this was connected to the wrong part in the first place, so it's connected to this part. Now this is plastic. So you know, the part of the point here is that that's supposed to pick up the power from the chassis, and that one I think is well, so these are both connected to the motor. At the moment you can see this is all disconnected, so I think that was another reason why it was an issue. You've got a cable coming through here. Now this picks up from the wheels, and I believe that, well, actually I've tested it, so it must be the case, but the other power comes through this side of the plate. So you've obviously got power coming into here and then going back out to the motor. So if that's connected to something that's plastic, obviously it's not conducting, whereas this is, it certainly feels like metal, and this is on the instructions where that part is connected to, not the plastic part at the back. So I'm assuming whoever put the DCC in, whether or not they bought it with the DCC in and they just put it back in the wrong place and could never understand why it wouldn't work. It could be as simple as that. I mean, to be honest, it did look pretty factory installed until I started looking at the sort of the connections against the motor, and I started to question, I wonder if this has actually all been done by somebody that kind of knew what they were doing, but then you'd expect them to be able to find the problem. But yeah, so just to show you what I mean, so I've connected this to a little 9-volt battery. I'm going to put the red onto this part, and I will put the black over here. I'm just going to put the phone down for a bit, 2 secs. Okay, right, that's back. So that's actually now connected. So we've got the black coming into this side and the red connected to this bit. And now I'm going to take the little bit of stray metal that's come off of the soldering, and I'll show you. Magic. So all I've got to do is put it back together properly, and it should be running again. But yeah, if you're an owner of one of these and you can't get it to work, look for the simple stuff. Is it DCC, and therefore you need a banking plate. Obviously, wiring connections are always going to be an issue. But if you're the store that sells these sort of things for 15 quid, then maybe actually look at them and try to fix them so you can sell them for a bit more. Because this loco, theoretically, if I did want to resell it, would probably, once I fixed it, this is going to be upwards of 70, 80 quid, from what I can tell. So yeah, absolute bargain, relatively easy fix. Just got to know a little bit about what you're doing, and obviously I'm not an expert. I've just learned it over time, playing around. But this is the other side of the hobby that I actually enjoy doing. I don't talk about it very much. I know I've done a couple of videos, but yeah, it's fun to do. A little bit of electronics. I'm not an electrician by any stretch of the imagination, but yeah, lots of things to do in this hobby, isn't there? Anyway, right, I'll come back. I'll probably do a little running video at the end in a second, and I'll catch you later. Cheers. Okay, so here it is. I've put it back together. So now you can't see any wires in there because I've ripped out all of the DCC stuff, including the plate and everything. So it's basically back to direct connection. And I've just changed it around so it's the same format as what was on the actual instructions that were supplied with it, rather than how it came. So now it's obviously getting the power correctly. You can just about hear it. It is a little bit funny with the connection. I guess it needs a clean and stuff as well, but yeah. So other than that, it gets power. So for 15 quid, not a bad looking loco. A little bit of time to fix it and get it running, because I'm still obviously going to need to, as you can tell, I think that's a quartering issue. So it's knocking, so it's likely a quartering issue. Not much else it can be because it's actually rocking side to side as well. But the good news is it's getting power, at least. Sometimes needs a little nudge, but I'm going to give it a bit of a run around the layout and see if it works alright up there. Hey folks, so yeah, you probably guess it's running okay, as in it's actually got the power, as I said earlier. You can just hear that clanking, because something's not right. But she's running around. Hey, you're right. Well, this is interesting. It's not the quartering. There's something else going on, but watch this. So I've actually taken off all of the side rails and things, and I still get the same knocking. So what is going on? I'm gonna have a look inside. But that was step one, just to work out whether or not I had the quartering issue or not. If I didn't, I am now, because I'm going to have to try to remember how to put this all back together afterwards, but it should be alright. Yeah, I don't know what it could be, to be honest. Something to do with the gears? Yeah, maybe. I'll let you know in a second. Alright, you join me with more bits. So this is, well, this is what I meant actually. Let me just show you if you haven't come across these before. This is the wondrous work of Hornby. I don't know if there's any other manufacturers that do the same, but you know, soldered wire onto here, which I suppose makes sense because it's constant. There's no need for it to be soldered on there. Like that's what annoys me. I think you could probably get away with it just being like pressure fitted. But that was obviously connected to the engine, or the motor. So the engine, the motor, which I've actually taken off. of the right hand side there, as you can see, in order so I could actually get this out. And so as soon as I can get that out, then I could get to the wheel set. And I don't know if it's going to come up in here, but I was trying to work out where, so I've worked out where the actual lumpiness comes from, and it's about at that point there where the where it's in that position. And then when I looked at here, you can just about make it out. I think you can see that in the camera. We've got a split gear. So that's the problem. That's what's causing the lumpiness. I just got to try to find out what sort of gear that is. I've got a gear puller somewhere, so I'll have to take this apart. I don't know if no, there's nothing there. I haven't got the service sheet. This is just the maintenance sheet. I haven't got the service sheet. So I'll look online, see if there's a part, but usually these were like you buy the replacement parts were the actual wheel sets themselves. They come in like whole wheel sets. They weren't, you didn't get the parts separate. So I'll probably have to raid my spares and see if I've got another replacement part. But I think that's going to be it for this video. Actually, I think I'll stop there. So we've gone from having it not working at all, bought for £15, fixed it to DC and turned it to DC rather than DCC, which I'm happy with. So that's good, and it was running as you saw. Lumpy runner. So once we got to that point, then it's like tried to diagnose what the problem is bit by bit, and then found out that it's a split gear. So if you get a lumpy motor, or a lumpy loco runner, then yeah, my advice is do what I did. So get to the point where you have the driving wheels connected still with the others off, so take off the rods, run it and see if you still get the problem. If you get the problem, then it's very likely to be the gear itself rather than a quartering issue. So yeah, I think that's a pretty obvious one, but hopefully if there's anybody out there that I can help, then that's been worth it. But yeah, I'll let you know as and when I either find a part or eventually get around to fixing it. But I think this is either going to, I think I'm going to probably put it back together, or leave it in bits and do it at another point once I find a replacement gear. Anyway, take care. Hope that was relatively interesting. Sorry if I was teaching you to suck eggs if you already knew all the stuff. So yeah, all the best. Take care. See you later.